think it is. Fantastic. Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much for that. Hopefully you've all got to know each other a little bit better. Some funny stories in there, some things to follow up on when we're out later. I think I'm now handing back over to James. Yeah? Fantastic. Cool. How's everyone doing? You alright?
Yeah.
This is the last kind of bit, just in terms of kind of introductions, and to give you kind of just a bit more of a context. I know I said I kind of ran through. Get this out of the way, otherwise we can have Cool. So really to kind of give you a bit more of an insight and kind of overview. And when I started the company, I was 22. So probably a couple of years older than most of you in the room, and maybe not a traditional route, but kind of someone that kind of graduated from university and kind of gone and set kind of this thing up, which was, for all intents and purposes, just an idea. You know, how many of you like, have an idea and you tell your friends, oh, I've got this idea, and a lot of them turn around and go, oh, don't be stupid, don't do that. So I had quite a lot of those. Before then, I kind of kick off and go kind of more into what I'm going to kind of share with you over the next kind of 20 minutes or half an hour or so. I'd just like a volunteer, please, just to come to the front. Volunteer? Round of applause, please. Woo! So I just wanted to just very afraid instead. What am I going to make you do? So just share. I know it's quite difficult because we've just had all these introductions. Just one other thing that no one else in the room knows about you, and that's it.
I talk to my mummy like at least 8 times a day.
There, cool. I've got a couple of gifts for you. Wasn't the most difficult thing to say, but I've got a book. Has anyone heard of this book? Oops. It's called Change the World for a Fiver. It's a really cool book. It's basically 50 different ways of different things that you can do to change the world and have an impact on the world. So I just want to give you that. Stay. It's alright, just stay there a second. So basically, Change the World for a Fiver was written by this woman called Eugenie Harvey, an amazing person who kind of just, people think like to do things to have an impact can be quite hard, where she just wanted to kind of break it down with a group of people. They didn't want to like create an organisation that you need to be part of, but it was more just like a movement. So just a group of people that could do some really cool things and just have an impact on the world, which I think is like quite exciting. And you'll see kind of more kind of me draw on these points, but just about kind of individuals, like every single person in this room, you're all unique and you're all different and you've all got something to bring, not just to the conference, but to your friends, to your families, to everything around you is kind of unique and it's amazing. And I think kind of this book really harnesses just like 50 really cool things, and I'll just share a couple of them with you. One of them is Say No to Plastic Bags. So I don't know if you saw those bags that they did, which was like, I'm Not a Plastic Bag. Yeah. They were the organisation, say company, behind getting that movement, and so many people were talking about it. And literally, I can't go to a shop and I've got always that thought in my mind, do I need this plastic bag? Just imagine if you really don't need it. Like if you need it, fine, take it. But it's just about going, okay, no. So every time, I personally feel like that, and I think, okay, you're just doing that little bit of thing that you can then kind of contribute and make a difference. Which I think is kind of really amazing. And I actually saw her speak. When I first saw the book, I thought this was an amazing book, and I've given the book, I'm sorry, you're not the only person I've given the book to, but I've given the book away to quite a lot. Forgive me. So I've given it away quite a lot of times. And I saw her speak actually, and she said, when we first launched the book, which I think was in 2004 or something, she said there were certain people that just bought the book lots of times. And I kind of felt a bit of like goosebumps because I felt like I was one of those people that helped them, and they've sold I think over 1 million or like loads and loads of copies of them. I've probably bought quite a few of those. And just around kind of impact and what you can do. And the other one was like not having a bath or shower, turning off your tap when you're brushing your teeth. Like all just like little very simple. So I encourage you maybe share the book around and you can share some insights to that and with people. Let's have a look. Then the other thing I'd like to give you is some £20 fee voucher for Pizza Express.
Big win for me! You guys are all jealous.
So that you can just have some food, no real deep meaningful for that. Just, thank you for coming up. And the other book, which I'm going to talk just a little bit more about, kind of one of the kind of things that I guess that impacted on me is this guy wrote this book called The Naked Leader. I ended up, has anyone written to an author of a book? So I wrote to him and I was like, oh well, I think your book's quite inspiring. Do you want to meet up for coffee? So he said, all right. So I met up with him for coffee, which has resulted in me buying a lot more books. He also giving quite a lot of books away. But it's a really kind of interesting story, which I'll relate back into just in the next kind of 20 minutes. So I just want to give you as a gift as well. So you can go. That's fine. So you can go and sit down. Thank you very much. Round of applause. Okay, so my first question is, why didn't anyone else volunteer?
Because you didn't know what we were going to do.
Yeah, so you didn't know what to do, so they're kind of this kind of unknown. Okay, so that's one thing. Why didn't anyone else volunteer?
I don't want to be the first person to look really cocky.
Yeah, okay, so first one.
Straight away. You get to leave it.
Anyone else? Why didn't you volunteer?
I suppose you don't want to look like cheeky or something.
So too keen, so similar things. What about kind of embarrassing yourself, making a mistake? Generally, all of you would have thought something negative. Even when yourself it came up, you would have thought something, oh, like, what's he going to ask me to do? He's going to embarrass me. This is like really not a good situation. I've just met all these people. If I go up there, then it will kind of set up this whole thing, and like, then they're going to think about me for the rest of the year, like this stupid person. Like, like, I'm creating the story, but I guess that's the whole point. Is we all kind of create these stories in our minds around this kind of negativity, and like you wonder kind of why, I guess, it is like that. And you know, something that we've just asked you to do, think about it, when you're growing up and your parents, when you want something, what do they tell you? You ask for something and they say, no. So, no, I think by the time you're like 18 or something, you've been told no like 20,000 times, or something like horrendously huge. So what's the other thing that your parents tell you when you're growing up? What do they tell you not to do? Do not talk to
Strangers.
Okay, so what have I just got, what have we all just got you all to do? Talk to strangers. Okay, so there are a few things that you think kind of our lives are just kind of very much ingrained with us. Don't do these things, don't talk to strangers, and then you're expected to go out into work and not know anyone and go and talk to all these people. There was a survey done in America in the 1970s, and the survey came up with the results and death came third. What do you think the most two feared things are in the world? Apart
Not having any friends.
Not having any friends, that comes below these. Rejections, so speaking. So the first one is going in front, is doing what I'm doing right now, is basically standing, so doing what you did. You came up, that is the most feared thing apparently in the world, is going in front of a room full of people and having to deliver a talk, a session, whatever it is. So I want to just all to give yourselves a round of applause because we've already done that already. I'm going to introduce something a bit just with round of applause. I know there are only around 20 of us in the room, but I want it to feel like that there are all the other people also in the room, and that there's a bit more kind of energy into it. Because I don't know if you feel like that people feed off energy. Do you know when you've just spoken to a friend and they're not very happy, and you kind of put down the phone and you feel a bit like, oh, and whatever, and you kind of take a little bit of that. But then if you speak to someone that's really enthusiastic and has got loads of energy, then you kind of take that as well. So you're kind of yeah. So in terms of a round of applause, when I say, okay, round of applause, let's really just give it, and it's the most amazing thing you've ever heard, even if you don't necessarily agree. But then it will also fuel that, so I think that would be really good. And also for the camera as well, to make you all oh, great. That was the sideline story, But the main point is just that energy and just kind of feeling that. So what were we supporting? We were going, great, look, you've all come up to the front of the room, and that's the scariest thing in the world, and I think that's a huge round of applause. Okay, so what's the second thing that's the scariest thing in the world?
Shots?
Shots? No, those are further down the list, apparently. So the first is kind of related. The first thing is standing up in front of a group of people. The second thing then is networking. And I say networking in the loosest term, going and meeting and speaking to a group of people. And that's why we kind of said, earlier, you're, just meeting people, if you see someone standing by themselves, they feel exactly how you feel, but they've just not gone and spoken to someone, and just to include people. And you know that feeling, and I always have in my mind, when I go to these network events or business or whatever, everyone kind of feels the same, but you always think everyone's more confident, or they've all come as a group together and I'm by myself. And all of you pretty much have come by yourselves, so you're all in the same position. So even if you see a group of 3 people talking, they've only just met each other 2 hours ago, so they're not a group of people, so you can just go, hey, do you mind if I just join in or whatever? And they'll be yeah, sure. So just you know, I guess think about that, because I think that's kind of just a few really important things. So I'm now doing the scariest thing in the world, standing up. Death Came Third, and it was this true study that was done, and there's a great book called And Death Came Third, which is about kind of public speaking and stuff, which is actually can help. You know, and a lot about this role is kind of very much transferable practical skills. Like so many people, one that we interview, and I've interviewed literally hundreds and hundreds of people over the last 5 years, going into jobs, whatever it is, you're going to have to talk and you're going to have to sell yourselves. And any of you just doesn't like selling, get over it, because you've got to, and in life, in terms of a life skill. So a few things, examples I'm going to share with you, I guess, is one, gives you an idea of where I've come from, so that how can that translate, and why, I guess, the business what it is, and why you're all kind of sitting here having had an idea and then kind of made something happen. And yeah, just a few kind of tangible things. So in terms of kind of asking for a volunteer, just to highlight, who in the room thinks they couldn't have come to the front of the room and did what was done? You could have all done that, yeah? Sorry, I double negative, or whatever that was. So you could have all just come to the front of the room, done that, and then got £20 worth of vouchers for Pizza Express and got a couple of books. You could have, every single one of you in the room could have done that. And I guess that's my point. Like, there's nothing special, and I know we all do it to people. We see other people do stuff, and we put them on this like, wow, I could never do that. That's like them up there, and this is me. But it's not. We're all on the same level, and that's also kind of partly why, again, I'm here and I'm taking some time out. Like, I'm not. I know I'm wearing a suit. It will come off a bit later. Take off a jacket. But we'll all be. You know, we're a part of the team. You know, I want to help you as much as I can. I want to share with you as much as I can. You know, and to offer that to you guys. And I don't think there's any other program or anything across the UK that's running that, like, a founder of a business is really getting as involved as we want to be, and giving back and kind of helping you as much as we can, because it means a huge amount to me. So I'm going to go through kind of a few things. So one of the questions, and I just wanted to, I guess, give you some context of this, was on the form of Young Enterprise. How many of you have done Young Enterprise in the room? So a few people. Do you want to say what you did, or what you sold, or what you... Go for it.
We sold roses on Valentine's Day and had like little